People, I wish to declare that the A-League is the greatest league on the fucking planet. Yeah, what a weekend we had for the A-League, and what a weekend we've got upcoming. There's no massive fixtures next week, but I think there's some interesting games. And we got a Friday night doubleheader as well this week, which I love. So it's going to be 2-2-2 across the weekend as well. Palatable load every day. I love it. Yeah, let's talk about last week first, because we had some massive games last week. I think every game actually just was a bit... No. Melbourne City versus Newcastle ended 2-0 to Melbourne City. Melbourne City looked better than Newcastle objectively, and I will talk about it no further because it was boring as fuck. A lot of Melbourne City fans there though, so fair play. But otherwise, yeah, don't give a fuck about that game. All the other ones were great. We'll start with Friday night's fixture between Brisbane and Western Sydney Wanderers, which I think Brisbane should have won 5-0, but they didn't. They drew 2-2 with Western Sydney, who were terrible. Fucking terrible. And it's kind of what I was fucking hinting to last week, where more end product, man. We need more end product from Brisbane. I don't give a shit. Fucking have a 2-2 draw. But, they had the chances to put that game to bed, and they didn't. And then in the second half, they backed off. They backed off towards the end and didn't keep the pressure on Western Sydney. They weren't making chances, and they paid for it. I mean, Milanovic went bang in, the first fucking minute of the second half. And then, Antonsen came up with a goal. I don't even know how it happened, but he won a header in the box, probably because he's tall and Swedish. Yeah, he won a header in the box, put it in the net, and Western Sydney came away with what I think is a big point. Brisbane, as I said, were good, and I think they've been really good this season. They've been really good at home, but Western Sydney, came away with a point, which I think is good for them, especially when, as I said, they played terribly. They didn't look good. They didn't look good on the ball. Even when they were kind of dominant against Brisbane towards the end, it looked like Brisbane were just kind of letting them have the ball. And it really could have gone tits up for them, but it didn't. And is that a sign of champions? I hope not. That was Friday night, and all in all, it was entertaining. It was also pushed back for about 45 minutes, and still look great. There's been this, I don't know what it is, there's so much talk of rain in the A-League. People talk about it for the NRL and the AFL as well, but it seems like they're done with that. Maybe it turns a few people off in those, but the way people talk about it in the A-League, it's the Sydney Derby was a sellout, but 24,000 people went because of the rain. That's fucking at least 16,000 people, right? I don't think that's the actual figures, but when thousands of people, a good 10% of your crowd or more aren't, going to a match because of rain, how is that normal? Who are these people? What do they want from sport where it's it's raining, I won't go? But my point is that surely this weekend the myth fans don't like rain has been dispelled, right? The people that matter like rain, and or it can stay through the rain. Yeah. We saw that here. You had the RBB up there in massive numbers, and you had the Den in full voice. So it looked like a great atmosphere from the telly, and I'm sure it would have been a great game to be at. But overall, just looked fantastic. Then we've got Western United versus Wellington, top versus bottom, and it looked like a fantastic match. I obviously didn't watch it. I had Sydney FC. Wellington came away with a 1-0 win. It was a disallowed initially, but they got the goal in the end. Otherwise, Alex Paulson made some big saves. Western United missed some chances, and they're massive shithouses again. But they're top of the league, and deservingly so. They look like a good side this season, but God, they just get some shitty looking wins. Not that their fans shouldn't take joy in it. It looked like their fans enjoyed themselves at the match, but funny for Western United too. 5 losses in a row. How do do I have hope for them? I'm going to predict they beat the Mariners this week. God, they must be a shit show. I haven't watched enough of them to say for certain, but surely they are absolute dog shit. From the highlights, they don't look that bad. Like, it looks pretty even, but again, it's the highlights. You can't tell. So, yeah, if anyone can let me know what's going on at Western United, that'd be nice. YouTube comments, I think you can put unlimited words, and I will read them all as long as they somewhat pertain to Western United the whole way through. Someone just let me know what's going on. Please. But we'll move on to better things than Western United, which is fucking everything. At least every team in the A-League. And Sydney FC and Perth Glory played at the SFS in a match that took 4 fucking hours. Oh my God. I was rocking a nice buzz, and it was good to watch the boys bring home a 3-2 win in a performance that I think I will classify as good enough. Like, am I overly positive with how good we are? Am I overly happy with how good we are from that match? No, but I think there were definitely a lot of positives to take from that game. Firstly, that we kept on going. I mean, it literally cost us the first goal, that we were still pressing high up into their half and trying to win the ball back and keep the pressure on. But it is a good sign that we're doing it. Like, it is going to cost us now. It's going to cost us goals and probably results. But it's good that we're trying to play a good style of football throughout the match. And yeah, what I'm talking about, right, is that, like, for the Perth goal, I mean, and we did it well as well, by the way. Like, it isn't just for this that I think we're doing it, but for the Perth goal, Joel King pressed up high and they just played a 1-2. Bratton didn't go with his man, and yeah, Perth were away, and Girdwood Reich was left out of position against Taggart, who was making a run, and yeah, they put away their chance. But yeah, it was a little bit poor, but it's good to see that we're doing that, is my point. Otherwise, positives were Holman played. I think Holman was good. Fabio Gomez, I think, had a really good game as well. He obviously, I mean, actually not obviously, I'm not sure if he did get the assist for the glass and goal, not goal, but, he played the pass in the lead up to that. And I think what he did well was he looked quite covered by Perth's defenders. Like, it didn't look like we were going to get the ball to him, but he went out and got it. I remember that long shot from him where he created that chance on his own, and that's what we're going to need him to do, is we're going to need him to be able to get the ball and create chances at his feet, and maybe he's starting to do that. I mean, sort of an assist, good long shot. It's a positive for Fabio. So, I think he was good. And I also think Robert Mack and Paddy Wood both had their best games of the season as well on Saturday night. They had some good link-up play together, and they were both part of some good moves. Obviously, Mac got his goal, great persistence, little bit of good dribbling as well, and good finishing. And yeah, he had some other moves as well that looked nice throughout the match, and same with Paddy Wood. And Joe Lolly, I mean, he got a fantastic goal, but God, this is the problem with our performance, is like, we just didn't put away our chances, and that's been a problem under Steve Corica in the past. It's just a problem for a lot of football teams, really, when they don't put away their chances. And we did in the end, which is good. Again, great persistence, but it's like, at some point, we're going to need to just be putting away those chances first time we get them, and not waiting for, the second rebound to put them away. But overall, it was a great night. I think Perth benefited from the long break, but good on them. They nearly nabbed a result. And yeah, it was a good performance from the Sydney FC. Glasson as well. I need to talk about Glasson specifically. As far as I'm concerned, he scored the fucking goal. He scored it. Don't tell me it was an own goal. It was a Glasson goal. I'm so goddamn thrilled to see a ginger celebrating. It's fucking exciting. It was great celebrations, and just a great goal to really seal the match, and just a great night overall. And I want more football late as well. I'd like it scheduled late, but obviously you can't. I found out Stadium can't play the PA after 11 o'clock, which is fucking fantastic. That's how I want it. All Sydney FC home games should kick off after 11 o'clock so that PA system can shut the fuck up. Mandate it. Elect me into local office and I will mandate that Sydney FC games have to kick off at 11 o'clock or after 11 o'clock. I'll make it lawful. They'll control the police. Anyway, we'll move on to Central Coast versus Melbourne Victory on Sunday. The only game that I'm bothered to talk about from Sunday. And I'm only bothered to talk about it because Melbourne Victory suck. 3 draws in a row. They probably should have 9 points from those games and they've got 3. They should be really disappointed. And this one for me is the most disappointing of all. Wellington and MacArthur have put in some good performances this season now. I've seen them. They have happened. Mariners are atrocious and they did not deserve to get a draw on Sunday. Good on them as always, but they were shit. Quoll pounced on a Melbourne Victory mistake and Torres got the goal to equalise. But yeah, Melbourne Victory should have put them away. I think Fallen Rolly obviously got that screamer. And then I can't even remember Valufale's goal. But yeah, for me, Melbourne Victory looked the better side and should have been getting the result. But they didn't. Which is really funny. Hence the sad laugh alone in my room. Anyway, we'll move on to the final game of the weekend, which wasn't on the weekend. It was on Monday, which is right after I'm recording, and it was a brilliant match. And the reason I believe the A-League is the greatest league in the world, because fucking MacArthur. Like, with Western United, it made me really sad seeing them do well. Like, it was really sad to see. But maybe that's just because they were such a dull fucking side. MacArthur are good. Like, Western United fans fucking suck. They can't admit that they're just like fucking 50 lonely guys. Like, MacArthur fans are like, they know that they're sad. They're not trying to be anything. They're literally just people that are happy to sing a couple of songs at the football. And along with that, their team don't play fucking turgid football, it seems. Like, they look delightful going forward. And that's because they have Ulysses Davila pulling the strings. And he, along with MacArthur, came away with a mighty balls of steel 4-3 win against fellow title contenders, perhaps, Adelaide United at Campbelltown on Monday night. Fucking terrific. I think Adelaide played well. I think MacArthur played well. I think we saw the best of both teams. And it's not even the best 4-3 I saw today. Liverpool-Fulham, also fantastic. Trent Alexander-Arnold, God. Like Ulysses Davila, who's bringing the false 9 to Australia. Like, he is in that fucking MacArthur front line. Defenders have fucking custody of him. It's their job to keep control of him. And he just floats into the midfield. And he's there with so much time and space and no team shut him down. I mean, Victory didn't. Adelaide didn't. And, yeah, he got the win. But that's not to say that also, he's not even 30, is he? I picture him as like 34, but he's getting in the thick of it. He is doing everything. He's a real dogged player that, like, fights for everything as well. Like, I can't speak highly enough of Davila. His performances so far this season, and I more so mean in the last 2 matches, but I'm sure across the course of the season, have been fucking terrific. And he's always been a terrific player. He's had a bit of a lull recently, but he is back to his best, and it is delightful to watch. And then, yeah, for Adelaide, like, I think Clough got a couple of goals and, like, yeah, I can't take anything away from them. Iran Kunda look a bit shut down and he still got an assist and, you know, beat players on the dribble a couple of times. Like, and yeah, I can't fault him or anything. He just looked like MacArthur just stopped him a couple of times and I was like, oh, that's impressive. But yeah, Adelaide, I can't really fault them either. It was just a high scoring match where, yeah, I think the best player on the park was Ulysses Davila. And he proved it. So, yeah, that was last week. And now we'll move on to talking about next week. Oh, yeah, I did an Instagram poll because I love midweek football. Like, I don't think it should be the case all the time. And I think it should be well planned and stuff. And I hate the A-League doing, like, 7 o'clock kickoffs for midweek football. But anyway, my point is, as, like, my oh, God, I didn't mean to say that. I'm so sorry. As my, like, my comrade engagement, I did a poll asking what is the best day for midweek football, and they are as follows. And I think they were the days I said. Yeah, they're in the order I said. Wednesday was voted number one at 46%. Which, yeah, I think it's the best. Like, you know, you have a game on the weekend, game on Wednesday, game on the weekend. It's delightful, non-stop football. Thursday, that usually, like, correlates with the weekend. It's not gonna for Sydney next season. But, yeah, it usually, like, it can be, like, A-League kickoffs have previously been on Thursdays for, like, weekend kickoffs. And, yeah, like, if it's a midweek game, I like a Thursday, and then you have a game on a Sunday. But if it's, like, a weekend kickoff, yeah, Thursdays can fuck off. Then Monday came in with 11%. I like Monday kickoffs a little bit, but... yeah, I don't know. It kind of sucks having to watch everyone else play and wait for your team's result. And they are definitely tied in, obviously, like it was this week with, you know, the weekends. So, yeah, it's not like you're going to be getting an extra game or anything. And then Tuesday, because when the fuck is there football on a Tuesday? Maybe Champions League, would it be? Yeah. But yeah, that's my engagement of the week because, I couldn't do a legitimate shit show and masterclass, but we shall hopefully resume that next weekend. And talking of next weekend, we've got 6 games to talk about. A Friday night doubleheader between 4 bottom 6 teams. And I bet they didn't expect that. The 2 grand finalists are playing, and they're both in the bottom 6. They've ruined their fucking Friday night advertising. But we've got Central Coast versus Western United. I really think Western United get back to winning ways here, guys. I think I'm starting to sound insane. Obviously, 5 losses in a row is massive, but from what I've seen of the Mariners this season, I think they are still dog shit. They've obviously got capable players, but so do Western United, and surely they can get a result at least here. Like, it'd be massive for them. Otherwise, I think it'd be a great game. I'd love to take a trip up here to Gosford. I don't think... oh, no, I'm coming to Melbourne in a couple of weeks. But, yeah, I'd love a trip up to Gosford soon. And maybe this will be a good game to do it. I'm working from home on that day, so yeah, it could be good. But the reason to stay is so I could watch the following, which, do I really want to? Maybe. It's Perth Glory versus Melbourne City, and I'm just going to come... by the way, yeah, I think Western will be beating Central Coast like 2-1 or something. But yeah, I'm going to come right out and say my prediction for this one. Perth Glory 2-1. Melbourne City, I spoke about them travelling last week. They've gone fucking Wellington, Japan, Newcastle, Perth, presumably with some trips back to Melbourne in between. Like, they have got to be knackered. Absolutely fucking knackered. And, yeah, I think they're just not going to pick up a result. They look tired. They look troubled. They beat Newcastle, but they don't look like a good footballing team. And, you know, like, I'll shit on Perth. They do look shit comparatively to, like, the top 6 for sure. But, you know, they're a capable enough footballing side. And you know what? Their fans on the piss, any excuse to drink for those fucking animals in Perth, right? They are going to be on the piss. The shed is going to be rocking. Surely it's at HBF Park. I have no confirmation, but I see no reason why it wouldn't. I think this game going to be a terrific atmosphere, and I think it's just going to be a glorious win for Perth. Melbourne City, I don't think they should be favourites. I don't know what the sports bet odds are, but yeah, I don't think Melbourne City should be favourites for this game, and I think if Perth Glory are underdogs, I'm going to put some money on them because, yeah, I'm pretty in for a Perth win. And that's Friday. Then Saturday is Wellington versus Newcastle. Newcastle looking garbo this season. Wellington looking fantastic this season. It would be funny for Newcastle to shithouse the shithouses, but for me, Wellington will be getting the win. Nothing more needs to be said. Then Sydney FC versus MacArthur. Another primetime kickoff. Sydney are massive, but it's a Sydney derby. Sounds fucking gross to say, but you know, 2 teams from Sydney playing, and MacArthur looked properly better than Sydney FC going into this match. Based off their last 2 performances, they look fantastic. I'm worried about their front 4. honestly, I couldn't even name. I know they've got that balding dude. He wears a big number, I think. Jed Drew's in and out. I could hardly name their front four. But Ulysses Davila, man. He pulls off the thing that we're trying to pull off, right, at Sydney FC, where they're playing with a front four, so they isolate a lot of the defenders, and with Ulysses Davila pulling back, they've got two centre-backs marking one striker, they've got two wingers trying to run riot, they've got whoever else bombing forward, and they've just got defenders isolated, so Sydney are going to need to watch for that. I mean, I'd love for us to go out and try and take the game to MacArthur, but I think it could leave our defence quite exposed. So I think if we are to get a result, that'll need to be covered for. But at the same time, surely we can do it to them, right? I mean, they've got big fucking Curto in goal, who is going to be a threat. But, you know, we've got a dangerous front four, whoever we put out. Don't know if Kaczarski will be back, but if we can get Wood, Gomez, Mack and Lolly up front again, I give them a good chance of scoring a couple against MacArthur. So it'll be an interesting game, but yeah, I hope we just don't struggle against MacArthur at the back, because I feel like they could rip us apart. Like that's just what they've relied on, is being able to rip apart Victory's defense and Adelaide's defense. Or it's not just what they've relied on, but it's been a result getter for them. And yeah, it could be again on Saturday night. But I will never not go into a game thinking Sydney will win. I probably have before, but not on Saturday. I believe in the Ufak Talay movement, and I think we're going to get a thumping. I can't see us not like conceding though, so I'm going to go 4-3. We'll go another 4-3, but it'll be in Sydney's favour, and it'll be another game for the ages. And then we move on to Sunday, where we've got, it's not a top 4 clash. I think it's 2 top 6 clashes on Sunday. That's weird how the fixtures are put out. Might just be a bit spasmy, but Friday is no teams in the top 6. Saturday is top 6 versus bottom 6. And Sunday is all top 6. But we got Adelaide United versus Brisbane Roar at Coopers. Brisbane have looked faulted this season. Adelaide have capitulated this season. I think as long as they don't capitulate, they're a better side than Brisbane, and they'll be getting the win. But Brisbane have looked fantastic. If they can put away their chances, I think they could put a couple past Adelaide, even with Joe Gauchi in goal. And, yeah, maybe they could make the game difficult. But whatever the case, I feel like Adelaide, back at Coopers, will just, you know, be a bit of a dangerous side. Oh, just before I move away from Sydney MacArthur entirely, how good is it that MacArthur's on Monday? We get extra 2 days rest over MacArthur. We are Sydney. We will take those 2 days rest and win. Anyway, my prediction for Adelaide versus Brisbane, if I haven't predicted it, yeah, fuck it, another 4-3. 4-3s all round. I'll start by predicting that the next game, Western Sydney versus Melbourne Victory, will end 4-3. But who to? I think Melbourne Victory will come alive this game. They will live to... I'm sure their fans will fucking... No, actually, no, their fans travel like shit. But I'm sure they'll have a few there. I reckon they'll come and they'll fuck off Western Sydney at CommBank. They'll give them their first defeat of the season. They'll hand it to the cunts. Look how they went toe-to-toe with Adelaide. Look how they went toe-to-toe and beat the best team in the league. Some might argue, if they were retarded. Sydney FC, 2-0. Look, I don't know. I think Melbourne Victory are a good side. I think they can play football quite well. And I think Western Sydney, it's up in the air. Like, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like, sometimes they just go 90 minutes of poor performance. And I reckon they'll do that again. And I'll predict a 2-1 Melbourne Victory win. But, you know, I know fuck all. So... all those results up in the air. Don't bet based off what I've said. And yeah, before this goes any longer, this is where I'll leave you. That's the A-League last week. That's the A-League this week. And I don't know if I've said it enough this video, but it's fucking great. It's looking great, in my opinion. Like, the things we see on the league week in, week out. Like, yeah, attendances could be higher. Yeah, it could be more of an appealing league to, you know, Euro snobs and cunts like that and people overseas. But overall, I don't know. I feel like it's a league that a lot of A-League fans, after the debacles of last season, can just be thankful to have because, yeah, it brings great entertainment week in, week out, and it has done all season. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope my videos have added to the entertainment, and let me know any thoughts in the comments below. But other than that, I will see you next week when I do my video. Bye-bye.